Jagdeep Dhankhar won the vice president elections in India with an overwhelming margin, polling 528 of the 725 valid votes. In India, elected representatives vote in presidential and vice presidential elections. The vice president also acts as the head of the Rajya Sabha, equivalent to the United States of America's Senate or the United Kingdom's House of Lords. Dhankhar was backed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party, or BJP. It now controls all critical positions at the national level. Other than long-time BJP partners, several regional parties, including Andhra Pradesh's ruling YSRCP, Mayawati's Bahujan Samaj Party, and Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik's Biju Janata Dal, backed Dhankhar. Dhankhar was born into an agrarian family and rose to become one of the leading lawyers practicing in both the Rajasthan High Court and the Supreme Court. In 1987, he got elected as the youngest president of the Rajasthan High Court Bar Association. Joining politics in 1989, he won a Lok Sabha seat from Rajasthan and became Minister for Parliamentary Affairs under Prime Minister Chandrasekhar. Later in 1993, he was elected as the member of the Legislative Assembly from Rajasthan's Kishangarh in Ajmer district and served in the post for 5 years. He championed the cause of other backward classes, OBC, and got the Jat community included in the OBC list in Rajasthan. Dhankhar joined the BJP in 2003 and has worked for the party ever since. In 2019, he was appointed the governor of West Bengal.
The Indian government is considering fiscally prudent but electorally risky measures to lower debt in its power distribution companies or PDCs. The current idea is to eliminate geographical restrictions that would now allow PDCs to compete in multiple areas that have been traditionally taboo. They would also be allowed to set tariffs based on market costs and define payment procedures and deadlines. Speaking on anonymity, officials said that this 6 trillion rupee, a $75 billion system needs an overhaul to pave the way for a more reliable, efficient, and financially viable method of energy generation, distribution, and usage. For example, unpaid bills amounted to nearly 2.5 trillion rupees, and the central government has urged states to clear the dues. All India Power Engineers Federation, a policy advocacy group, predicts instability from August 12, when the proposal may get to Parliament.
The day the bill is presented in the Parliament, power industry employees around the country will go on a strike. This amendment only allows private companies to benefit from the state's distribution networks and cherry-pick profitable distribution circles.
The All India Kisan Sangh Harsh Coordination Committee, a Get Everything for Free farmer advocacy group, also opposes this idea.
Electricity is an essential commodity, which needs to be regulated and managed and cannot be given up to the greed of profit.
Samyukta Kisan Morcha, or SKM, another farmer advocacy group, has long opposed the idea. On December 9, 2021, the central government had written to SKM promising consultations before introducing the changes to the law. SKM alleges that no such discussion has happened in the last 8 months. Organizations like SKM fear that the entry of private players will increase electricity rates in an unsustainable manner, causing great hardship to poor and marginal farmers. It said it supported the nationwide protests called by the National Coordination Committee of Electricity Employees and Engineers on August 9, and will initiate further protests if the law gets to the Parliament. These moves will create ripples, as political parties often use electricity as an election sweetener. Several state governments, especially those run by regional parties, promise free electricity to lure voters. Politicians pressure regulators to lower tariffs artificially and local administrators to transfer unbudgeted subsidies. Money-losing PDCs delay payments to power generators, grid operators and coal suppliers, weakening the entire supply chain. This burden is passed to the central government to rescue the ecosystem, forcing taxpayers to bear this burden. Noisy and arson-oriented fringe groups have consistently opposed forward-looking changes in India. Computerization, highway tolls, and water metering being prime examples. Ultimately, they all go through but need deft political maneuvering.
The world is seeing the after-effects of the visit of Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, to Taiwan. These developments, we will now call the Pelosi effect. Shaking in anger, China has encircled Taiwan with ships, frequently sending fighter planes to invade its airspace, firing missiles over the island, and imposing sanctions banning trade and shipment. One significant development is the ban on the export of sand from China to Taiwan. Sand is an essential component for the manufacture of computer chips. Taiwan is the largest manufacturer of computer chips in the world. However, sand exports from China account for less than 1% of the total need by Taipei to manufacture chips. There are different reasons why there is another chip shortage looming. During the pandemic-induced shutdown periods, as the world moved to work-from-home arrangements, there was a massive demand for consumer electronic devices. Factory shutdowns during those years, during times of a demand surge, caused large-scale chip scarcity. The impending shortage of chips is due to Chinese actions across Taiwan Strait. The unprecedented, belligerent drills will likely drive shipping costs up as vessels take longer routes to dock at alternate ports and staff work overtime to redo logistics. The Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, the biggest chip producer in the world, predicts that the cost of automobiles, smartphones, and other electronic devices will spiral. A study from Goldman Sachs found that, as more and more applications use computer chips, its shortage affected 169 industries worldwide.
If you like this content, please press the like button and share it with your family and friends. Please consider subscribing to this channel. It is free. Press the bell icon to receive notifications about new content.